Engines are now in the workshop. So what have we got to do? Quite a lot really. We've got to strip them down because the water basically went in through the turbocharger and filled up the bores. So a full strip down, and we're going to need to replace alternators, supercharger clutch, bearings, idler pulleys, power steering. Have to check whether there's been any water ingress around the shaft area of that. Strip the aftercooler, that's got an aluminium core inside. Injectors, while they're out, need to be checked and serviced. Going to do the bearings and the bell housing. What else are we going to have to do? Rings, main bearings, little ends, big ends, valves, valve stems, seals, camshaft. The whole lot's going to need attention. Wiring, the connections that are up high are unaffected, you see on that one, but the connections down low, you can look on the starter motor, starting to go rusty, so loom is going to need to be sorted. You can see on the alternators there that it's not done it much good. Some of the bits off the boat, that was down low, that's the demister. Heater, that's had a bit of water through it. That's going to need some attention. 2030 swapped out for a D130. So yeah, that's them in the workshop. Just got to make a full plan on what to do there. This is one of the drives, Volvo Penta DPH. Been around since the D4, D6 came out really. Been through various different upgrades over the years, different bearings, different gears, etc. This one doesn't look too in bad order. Steering is pretty tight, so that's going to need to be stripped and sorted out. Although they've only done about 350 hours, we want to bring it right up to date, so new shaft seals in the bottom end, selectors, UJ, etc., so that they're ready to go for the long-term running of the boat. Transom shields, etc., not looking too bad. Slightly different to a lot of the DPH range. These are joystick controlled, so they've got electronic steering wheel run down through the EVC system, and then they have mechanical operated hydraulics, so the ECU controls the valve block in here, and that then runs the oil down to here, which in the normal circumstances would have a valve block on there. And they've got sensors on the steering rams, so that can pick up the travel of those, tell it where it's left and right, and that allows them to then turn independently of each other, and they're set wide enough in the boat that they can't mechanically clash. Trim pumps, again, look alright in general, starting to get a bit corroded. All the mounted pins that are up on top of the engine again, looking good. Exhaust looking good order, actuators look good. So again, we need to go through that, give it some heavy servicing so that it's good to go. Okay, so I'm in the office and I've been through all the parts that we need to repair these engines, both from the incident and also going forward for longevity. And I thought the easiest way to run through this was to just do a screen share with you and show you what we see behind the scenes before we then present it to a customer. So if I pull it up now, this is the Volvo Penta web shop that we use. And we're able to select everything we're going to need, from a £763.20 voltage converter to a 25 pence lock nut. And I've been through everything we're going to need to do this job. Starter motor, turbocharger, you can see there that we're using remanufactured, so it's greener, uses a lot less fossil fuels, etc., to remanufacture than it does to make new, so we use that where we can. Belt tensioners, they were the ones that were really grumbly when we ran up the engines, and we can do that for everything we're going to need, and I've done that for all the major components. You can see there, sensors, pistons here at the top. What I haven't allowed for in this is the service items and for the strip and repair of the heat exchanger, oil cooler, etc. So those parts come to about 28,500. Then on the stern drive, we've got the steering knuckle, because the steering was pretty tight when I tried that. and we've got all the other items that were internal. We've got the electric motor for the trim, we've got the harness for the trim, we've got some bushes for the transom shields. Again, some of this stuff is for longevity as opposed to definitely incident related. And that lot comes to 5.25. So if we add that up, we add 28,500 plus 5,250. We need to allow about £2,000 for service items, heat exchanger works, etc. Times them by 2, we've got 2 engines to do, 2 drives to do, 2 shields to do. So about 71,500. And then we've got about 20,000 of workshop time. So about 91,500. And when you see a figure like that, like everybody, we've looked at all options. So we've looked at the long block option, and the labour comes down by quite a bit, but of course the parts go up. And then we've also looked at engines. So this is the Volvo engine ordering system that we use. It's not the case of simply ticking a box, we need a D4 300. We can select everything from single engine, twin engine, triple engine, 1 station, 2 stations, 3 stations, the list goes on, all the way down to whether we want the engine supplied with oil in it already. So I've been through that, and that then turns into our technical spec, and it came to 136,731. And there you can see the breakdown of both engines that we have to go through to get to that figure. So several pages worth. So about 137k. Bringing that onto one page so we can make a bit more sense of it, we've got about 91,000 there for the engine repair. It's not just the incident related, that's the shield, the drive, making things last for as long as we can. Same repair, lessening the labour but increasing the cost to go down the long block route. That's about 110k. And the new engine, 137k. There's a lot of parts on there we can reuse, resell, etc. They're in good order. So that brings it to about 117k. So when you got 117 against 110, that blows that one out the water. There's no way we wouldn't just jump to that if it was a 7k difference, if that was our only option. So we're really looking at an engine repair of 91 versus a new engine package at about 117. So a difference there of about £26,000. So that's really our decision to make over the next week or so. Do we repower it or do we repair it? Be interesting to see what your thoughts are on this. Let us know in the comments, and we'll see whether our views end up aligning. So that's the final update of this week. Let's see what decision we make, see what you guys think we should do, and hopefully next week we can let you know where we went. So thanks for joining us on this video, and we'll see you on the next one.